and this is Nancy, and it's Spectrum time. Nancy was handed down to me by my older sister, and if Nancy could talk, I'm sure she'll say that she's eternally grateful that I saved her from the dumpster. Now, I know Nancy isn't real, but many pets get abandoned and never get the chance to stay with a loving family. So today we'll take a look at what you think about pet adoption. We'll also discuss another more controversial issue, that most young people only go to art exhibitions for the gram. While others are busy curating their Instagram feed, we'll speak to a young entrepreneur who curates eyewear for her online business for today's interview segment. Now, adopting pets, is it a matter of ethics or preference? Animal adoption is on the rise, even though most Singaporeans still get their pets from pet shops. One reason people choose to buy instead of adopt is because they have more choices on the breed and appearance.
Hi, I'm Natasha, and today we are outside River Isles condominium where our first pet adopter, Nicholas, lives. For those residents living in condominiums and private housing, there are little to no restrictions on adopting pets.
Hi, my name is Nicholas. I'm 24 this year from NUS. Yeah. And my pet's name is Minnie, and I adopted her from SPCA. I chose to adopt because it's more ethical, I guess, compared to buying a pet from a pet store because they're like, I don't know, bred. Yeah. My pet is very, what do you call that? Very against strangers. Like, she's not very comfortable with people that she has never spent time with. Yeah.
We are now here at Lengkong 3 to visit the Wee family to find out more about adopting HDB-approved pets. For HDB residents, there are more regulations on the type of pet you can adopt. Small dogs and animals like hamsters and chinchillas are just some to name a few.
Well, my pet is, the name is Nala. She was adopted from Action for Singapore Dogs. We adopted her, I think, in March 2015. You know, there are quite a lot of dogs out there and they are constantly being bred and all that. So I think rather than buy and support the dog mills, it's probably better to adopt these dogs, give them a life, give them a chance to be homed and take care of them. I think it has opened up our eyes to many things, including understanding what a dog is, you know, how to take care of a dog, the commitment that's needed. With Nala, it has been quite different. I mean, she's just generally not that kind of warm personality, but the fact that she's able to hang around me, you know, when I just walk away and she'll follow, or she likes to be close and, you know, and you can see her moving around. I think that for her is showing a lot of affection and devotion.
However, there are some people who have differing opinions when it comes to adopting pets. Here's what they have to say.
Adopt or buy a pet. I think personally for me, I wouldn't want to adopt a pet. Like, I'm not comfortable, you know, taking over someone else's pet. I would rather just buy my own pet. Even it's more expensive, like they get a certificate, you know, the purebred, that kind of thing. Yeah, I'm much more comfortable buying my own pet.
Okay, so if you talk about dogs, right, I would rather buy a dog than adopt a dog because, you know, dogs are rather loyal creatures, animals. So if you adopt a dog, I would feel that it's not really my own. There's many other memories with this previous owner or whatever. Might be quite sad actually even. But then if I buy a dog, you know, you can kind of like train the dog since it's a puppy, and then you feel like it's more yours and you feel closer to the pet as well. Yeah, that's why I would prefer to buy a pet. Yeah.
I'm here at Times today for the Action for Singapore Dogs adoption drive. We spoke to one of the volunteers earlier and asked her about what it was like for the animals in the animal shelter.
Okay, so how long have I been volunteering at ESD? I think it's been probably for about 5 years? 5 years till now, yeah. Why did I start? For the usual reasons of, you know, I love dogs, I had dogs, and I just wanted to explore and see how I can probably contribute a little bit more, and the best way is just to volunteer in a shelter by myself. I think the main misconception that people have towards adopting is they always feel that shelter dogs are dogs that are damaged, unhealthy, dirty, sick, or even carry their own problems, and it's not comparable to a store-bought pet, we have limited kennel space. So strays can only be brought in if we can get dogs adopted out. So the faster we get dogs adopted out, the more strays we can actually rescue off the streets. If you look at the number of dogs that we have in any given shelter, why are good dogs being left in the shelter? The number of dogs that we get adopted out from ASD each year actually do vary from year to year, but I would say a good about 200-ish. Yeah, 200-ish per year, which is a pretty good number. I think the most challenging part about volunteering at an animal shelter is you get to witness human cruelty firsthand. You get to see how battered, how injured some of the dogs are through no fault of their own, how scared they have become of humans, and it happens for a good reason.
I think in Singapore, pet adoption is having the way to go, right? Because there are so many dogs on the street. There's left wandering on their own and fending on their own. So having adoption to take in the dogs into HDB and private houses should be the way to go, right? Of course, our desire, of course, is that the HDB would relax the rules and allow bigger dogs and more than one dogs, right? I think that's the way for us to really take in the dogs, because doesn't mean that having more than one dog is actually bad for HDB.
I prefer adopting female dogs mostly. So that, because the thing is, for female dogs around here, I mean in Singapore, a lot of people prefer the male ones, and then they use the female ones for breeding. I mean, because a dog life is a commitment thing. The older dogs are actually basically neglected. So once after a while, right, if they're not being adopted, they're going to be put down. So a lot of people adopt for puppies. So if they want to adopt, I would recommend to adopt the older dogs first, give them a better home.
The ASD is not the only organization which you can adopt a pet from in Singapore. There are other shelters like the SOSD, SPCA and Cat Welfare Society, as well as many other smaller shelters which you can adopt from. So check them out today and adopt a pet. This has been Natasha reporting for The Spectrum.
Many people dream of starting their own business, but only a fraction actually take the first step. On Let's Talk, Bambi has someone who took the first step and all at the age of 18.
Small businesses have been sprouting in Singapore over the past decade. Today I have with me an entrepreneur who has managed to get her eyewear products on Mega Fash and Zalora's online store. And she did this in 3 years. Hi Vanessa, so tell me about Frame and Eyewear.
Okay, actually I started this as a little girl. You always want to dream of something, and for me, I dream of being a girl boss like my dad. Yeah, so cause my dad started his own business as well, and being the only child, I really have a good relationship with my dad, and I wanted to be just like him. Yeah, but I didn't know what I want to start. So when I was 18, I met this couple of friends who started their watch business. And I also wanted to start something small and something that I like. And if you know me, you actually see me with an eyewear wherever I go. So obviously it's gonna be eyewear.
You didn't consider makeup or clothes, because that's very trendy as well.
Yeah, but I actually thought of it, but it was very saturated. The market was already there, and I don't see any room for me to enter. So for eyewear, at that point of time, there wasn't really any players. So I thought, why not?
That's true. It's a very niche market actually. So how did you actually get into it?
For me, I actually started on flea markets. Yeah, so I get a couple of designs from my supplier, and I actually try and see which is the more popular ones. And from there, I actually branch out and select my selections and things like that. Yeah.
And any challenges that you faced in the past 3 years?
Many. Yes. One is to actually find a partner. Because handling everything on my own is very challenging. At that point of time, I was also studying. So it's a real challenge to juggle back and forth. I literally had no life. For the first 3 months, you really cannot even find me. I'm just day in, day out, I'm just in my room, or if not, I'm in school rushing through assignments. It's really whoa. I cannot imagine myself going through it again. And other than that, also funding. Yeah, because I started with only $300. And for me to actually proceed, I needed to get more funds. Thank God, Nian has this thing called the startup grant, which I applied for, and I got about $5,000 for me to kickstart. And that's where everything actually blossomed. Yeah. And also, well, there's a lot of partnerships that actually approached me after that, like Zalora and Megafash, which actually really helped to kickstart everything.
Yeah, now the business is really huge, right?
Yeah.
Are you still working alone?
Yes, sadly, but I actually have a potential partner in mind. Yeah, we're actually planning to start something else. So Frame Eyewear will be a subsidiary of our bigger plans.
Which is?
Actually a cafe.
Oh,
Yeah,
cafe.
we're going to do like a cafe retail concept. But for the retail segment, it's going to be all our individual brands. Yeah, so like previously I mentioned, I have a friend who does watches.
Yeah.
So we're definitely going to get them on board. And we're going to get Frame Eyewear on board as well.
Oh.
And from like moving on, we'll see who else we meet along the way and just us and the hop on. Yeah.
That's great, but it's quite stressful to do by yourself. Are you studying now?
Yeah, I'm actually in my final year in uni. Yeah, I'm studying in
how's
Birmingham.
juggling that now?
For now, I'm just trying to put everything on hold. Like if you check out my Instagram right now, it's actually on like hibernation mode. Yeah, I don't really have time to actually focus, and I don't really want to start something unless like I really have the time to focus at all. But I'm graduating in 5 months, so from now to then, it's really like prepping up for the rebrand. Yeah, we're actually coming up with something new. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting and it's gonna be fun. It's not gonna be the same old, so like stay tuned for like something new. Yeah,
That's great. And the last question, do you have any advice for new businesses?
One thing, okay, maybe I'll share something that I always tell myself. Like at the beginning, there'll be a lot of challenges, but you know, do not take like a closed door as a closed door. Like for me, I feel that every closed door is a redirection instead of a rejection, and like there'll be challenges at the beginning, but you know, just take that as a learning curve. Yeah, do not like be beaten down by them. Yeah.
That's super good advice.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Okay, thanks for sharing. But before we wrap up, we're gonna play a game. So the game is called Guess the Picture. So since you're someone about eyewear and about eyesight, I'm pretty sure you can be able to identify these things. So I'm going to show you 3 super close-up pictures. You just have to guess what they are. Okay?
There.
Give a guess.
Mushroom, fungi.
Mushroom. I think that's not the answer. Another guess. It's somewhere on your face.
Huh? Face?
Yeah, somewhere on your face.
Your nose?
No, it's not that. Actually, it is an eye.
Eye?
You've seen enough eyes, cannot recognize any eyes. There's one last one.
Is there any hint?
Yes, it is. It can be found in like fields. It can be found in fields.
Fields.
Yeah.
Grass?
Mm-mm.
I really don't know.
It is probably with like trees and plants. It's an inside of
sunflower?
That's right!
Oh, really?
Yeah, you're right!
Wow.
That's it, you got a good amount of answers. And so I think, yeah, we're pretty much, that's all for the game. And so thank you, Vanessa, for coming down today and talking to us. So if you want to see more of Vanessa's eyewear products, just go to our website at frameeyewear.co. Thank you, Vanessa.
An increasing number of young Singaporeans are patronizing art exhibitions, then sharing their pictures and videos on social media. There's so much activity going on, organisers have started enforcing time limits to look at these exhibits. We find out how this trend affects other museum goers.
Visitors to art exhibitions have been rising. Popular exhibitions like Yayoi Kusama's Life is the Heart of the Rainbow and Art Science Museum's Future World exhibition has gained an unprecedented amount of attention. This increase in number has come from the youth, with many of them taking their experiences to social media platforms like Instagram. This brings the question, has there been an increased interest and attention in the arts, or are youth merely doing it for the gram?
I think one of the most obvious things in choosing the types of artworks and the types of artists to exhibit, like you can see that there are more massive, they're more big scale, they look good on photos. I feel like that's a very important thing for a lot of museums to take note of. Singapore Biennale, for example, or Yayoi Kusama, there's always an official hashtag that's associated with the exhibition. So then it really brings to mind like, okay, like museums are constantly thinking about how they can make their presence on social media more well known, and then it affects like the way that youth go to museums and the reason why they go to museums also.
I think firstly because like for Yaya Kusama, right, basically the exhibits are like super interactive, like people can lie down on them and sit on them. And from my experience, I would say that those exhibits are like a lot more popular. People are more keen on visiting these exhibits, and I guess also taking photos of the exhibits and showing their experiences on social media.
I think that social media is always good because it really reaches out to a whole new group of people that you would have never reached out through traditional media, right? But the thing is, I think nowadays it gets a bit more overboard because now people are not going there to appreciate the art, they're going there more for the photos.
I guess it gets like very overdone lah, and like everyone is going to the same exhibit and taking the same exact like angle and everything. I think everyone appreciates art in different ways. And if you appreciate it by like just staring at it and like creating your own meaning, then that's you, right? But some other people might appreciate it by reading the artist's intention. And I guess some others also appreciate it by taking photos of themselves with it.
You go to more obscure art exhibitions, right, that not a lot of people know of. The people there interact very differently from the way that people do when they go to like more famous exhibitions. So the first thing they do is take out their phones and then pose. Then they will look at the art. Yeah, but then if you go to like more obscure exhibitions, phones are never, there. Because I think that the artist has spent so many hours, so much time making the artwork, and then the first thing that comes to your mind when you go there and look at a piece of art is to take a photo. Like, it seems a bit ridiculous to me. Yeah, I despise it, but then I acknowledge that it's a stepping stone.
I think it's like quite natural for people to see something that is like beautiful, like whether it's like conceptually beautiful or like just aesthetically beautiful, and like want to capture it, right? Maybe not everyone will appreciate it to the same level, but at least everyone is more aware of, like now everyone knows who Yaya Kusama is. Then if they are more interested in it by themselves, they can go find out more about it. And I guess that's always a good thing. But in general, like people want to create art to like show other people, right? So like for me, I show my art like on social media platforms, and so I would say that I make art for people to see, but it's also like for myself as well.
Like it has become a place whereby people come in to get their Instagram shots. Like it's good to have like all these exhibitions around in Singapore so that people can know more about the arts.
Yeah. It's more on like the interaction, because nowadays we have so many events, so it's good that it's interactive and viral so that people will go.
It's sort of a way to get it out of out of the arts world.
It's a good way for people to get more exposed on exhibitions, but I think people should understand that ultimately all these exhibitions is all about more about the artists and like how they feel and how they want to present themselves in their artwork. I know of people who really just go through all these things for the pictures, for like Instagram in general, and then like when I want to know more about the things that are going on and like the description, usually they'll put descriptions on the site, and then like they would just move on very fast to the next hall, and I'll just be like, wait, hold on, I want to know more about this. Yeah, so I feel like people should really like know more about it first.
Most of them are actually going there just to kill time or a family lights out, and like not many people actually know the true meaning about the purpose of the exhibition itself.
I think it's a conflict that museums are always facing. Like, I think on one hand they want to maintain that level of artistic, quality that they've always been providing, but at the same time they also want to have more visitors because they have to like fulfill a certain level or a certain number. So then it becomes very conflicting for museums because they have to learn how to strike a balance between the two. Be able to expose yourself to art in the first place in order to like really develop an appreciation for it. So then in some sense when museums curate exhibitions that feature like popular artists or like very massive pieces of work, right, that become very photo-worthy, it actually helps to, be a stepping stone for youth to like engage and appreciate art. So long as you go with some form of interest even if you're there to take photos of yourself and then post it on on like social media, right? But then you go there with a slight form of interest, these kind of exhibitions will entice you to attend more. The museum has to cater to like such a big group of people now, then you know it might in some sense like deter other people who really want to appreciate the works of Yayoi Kusama from even going to the exhibition. Yeah, because of the 20-second rule, and then like it really affects the museum experience, and then in some sense it affects the appreciation of the art as well. Like when you have a time limit, or like when there's too many people, then how are you going to even look at a piece of art? Never go in with your phone in your hand, keep it in your bag or something, you know? Then like go in, when you go into a space, like think about what the artwork is like, think about how it affects you, read what the artwork is about.
This is Cheryl Tan, reporting for Spectrum.
That's all we have for today's episode of Spectrum. I definitely have more to think about the next time I visit an art exhibition or consider getting myself a new pet. Now be sure to stay tuned for more exciting content and follow us on eSpectrum for insider information about your favorite tutors. Until then, I'm Lynn and I'll see you soon.